Well, hello there. How about we do a video on what you are already doing right, what you are doing well, what is going the way that it should for you right now. I feel like that's important too, because sometimes we have a habit of looking at things we could do better or where we need to step it up. So let's just brag on you a little bit. We've got piles 1, 2, and 3. This is ametrine. This is moldavite. And this is aqua oroquartz. So pick your pile or piles and I will see you there. So a little side note before we get started, I have mentioned this in, I believe, at least 2 of the 3 piles, but this is a deck that was commissioned by my fiance a year ago for my birthday. So it is not available. I believe she only made like a handful, like 3, but there is a website that was made intentionally by someone who did all of the major arcana for Lisa Frank for free. You can print these for free from that website, and I will try to find it and I will try to link it. I will. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna do it because I love this deck and I feel like everybody should at least get to have those. And if you don't have access to a printer or whatever, they do have them on Etsy. There are people selling them, but just be wary of like prices, because I'm all about getting your money, but at the same time, these are readily available for free. So I will find that and I will link that. It is the major arcana that is available. All right, my pile 1's ametrine. What are you doing in all the right ways right now? What is going exactly as it should? I want to start off with some tarot. It's Lisa Frank. It's pretty great. I don't really showcase it a lot though, because I don't want, I'm all for people buying what they want to buy, for real. But because it's not something that's readily available, I don't really want to, potentially disappoint people or whatnot. But let's see what we're doing good. We have the 6 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So I feel like you guys are just being really giving right now, and you're being really open emotionally and just helping people in the best way that you can in a really encouraging manner. And you're being really tactful and sensitive about how you're helping people as well. Because we also have the 5 of Pentacles reversed. So I feel like it's not you doing this in a way that's going to make anyone feel any sort of way, feel negative or whatever. And that's really important. Whenever we give, we want it to be because we want to give, not because we want to make someone else feel bad. So I just see that you guys are just really being very charitable with maybe not only your material things or your finances, but with just yourself and your emotions and your time, which is great because we need that. So this is the Work Your Light Oracle. Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. And we have Starseed, what lights you up. So even though you're being charitable and you are helping people to really set themselves up for success and helping them to work on their own foundations and what they need to do, this is really helping you to feel good as well. And I love that, because that's why we need to do things, is not only to like, A, help people obviously, but to do it because we want to and because it makes us feel good too. Not like for the clout, not because you want to make anyone feel less than or be condescending or anything like that. You are doing it exactly right, whatever it is that you're doing, however it is you're being charitable, even if it's just with your time. Even if you're spending more time with people that you generally don't, or giving more encouragement, whatever that may be. Because you really help people to play and lighten up their own moods and just the way they feel about their situations, really. This is the Moon Witch Oracle. I'm trying to be better about showing things to the camera, right? Because either I get like way up in it and it's blurry, or it's just not even in view. But Diana, be one with nature. New moon, fresh start, new beginnings. And sun, find a balance. So I feel like this really is just part of your nature, is to be this kind, caring, good person. And that in itself can be tough, especially in the society that we are in, wherever you're at in the world, whatever's going on. Sometimes it's not easy to be nice and to be giving and to be generous. And that is in your nature, and that's how you feel your best. That's how you make other people feel their best. And that's what really gives you energy. But I feel like this is also something that you've had to learn to find a balance within. Like, give to others, give to self. Like, you've had to give to yourself. You've had to experience these things for yourself and able to do this in the best way. And I know that, life lessons are tough. We all have to go through them, but I just think it's really great that you guys are doing what you're doing for the collective and for others. Instead of being like, yep, well, sucks, I've been there, This is the wisdom of the Oracle. We have the Fates. An Unfinished Symphony. I feel like you guys are really living out your purpose right now, even if it's just day-to-day life, being the person that you are. And I also think that this is a way for you to really help yourself in recognizing that sometimes things are going to be unfinished business. Sometimes we have to accept that we might not get closure with things, and that things just are the way that they are, and there's not a lot we can do about it. And as difficult as that is at times, especially to see other people going through it and really wanting to help them, I think that it's great that you guys are working on doing what you can, how you can, instead of trying to fix things that you can't fix. And that's a hard lesson learned for anyone, especially to see the people that we care about going through things. And the frustration there is like, we know how to help you. We know what to do. Just let us help. But sometimes people are not ready for that. They might need your encouragement. They might need you to be there for them, but they don't need you to try to fix it for them. They don't need you to tell them what they should do. They just need you to listen. This is the Rebel deck. You need some yoga. So also remember to take care of yourself. Just as a side note, I want this to really be focusing on what you're doing right, what you're doing good. And taking time to yourself is good. And also staying in the right mindset. Back to that, like, knowing what we can and can't do kind of thing. And we have make it rain. So abundance, like, just on a side note, I feel like abundance is coming your way in whatever form. I don't know, because it's going to differ, but remember that abundance does take many forms. It's not just money. It's not just anything. Be open to receiving that, because being the awesome person that you are and doing the things that you are doing, that is going to bring in good things for you. And just keep doing what you're doing is really what I'm seeing for you. Because you have been working on yourself, on helping others, and you've been keeping the hope not only for them and helping them see the bright side, but also just really by being you and shining the way that you do and living the way that you do and just being the naturally caring, considerate person that you are. You're doing all the right things for yourself, for other people. That's just the stage in life you're at, I think. And you're doing really well at it. Even if you feel as though you're not doing enough, you are. Even if you feel like you should be doing something different, you're not. You're doing great. You're doing good. You've been doing good. You'll continue to do good. And you're not meant to save everyone. You're not meant to fix everyone. You're just meant to be yourself and lead by example and help in ways that you can, but not to overextend. Because that's another important lesson. But there we are, pile one. Ametrine, you guys are absolutely killing it. And I'm super proud of you. All right, my pile number 2, you chose the Moldavite. What are you already doing well? This is a Lisa Frank deck that my fiance had commissioned for me last year for my birthday. Knight of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. So Knight of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. I really feel like you guys are finding ways to work smarter and not harder, and not only come to a place in accepting where you're at financially and with what you have materialistically, but also finding a way to better that, but with more longevity. I feel like you guys are working towards something that's going to be like legacy wealth type of thing. This is the Rebel deck. Some good stuff is about to happen. Don't let your issues mess it up. Don't self-sabotage. Don't second guess. Believe what you see. Face reality. So you might have been in a situation where you've been just kind of struggling for a long time, and it's hard to think that, like, is this really the end? When is the shoe going to drop? When is something going to break? When am I going to have to use this money that I've saved? Whatever the case may be. But you've been doing this diligently. You've been working at this, and it's going to pay off for you. This is the Work Your Light Oracle. Inner Temple, Devotion, Tune into the portal portal of your heart. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. Whatever this is, it's big. I mean, it might not be like winning the lottery or whatever, but it might just be like a whole new mindset or a whole new way of being able to believe what's happening for you and accept the good without being so concerned. Changes in mindset are really hard. They take a long time. They take a lot of effort. But they are absolutely worth it. This is the wisdom of the Oracle. We have chop wood and building blocks. Again, you guys have just been really diligently working at this, building things up brick by brick, level by level, working on your own empire, working on your own foundation. This is the Moon Witch Oracle. Kali, step into the unknown. Do not be afraid. True North, stay true to yourself. So I feel like part of this mindset change or abundance that you're bringing in or way of doing things is really about you facing your own fears and your own vows of poverty or poverty mindset or lack or whatever that may be, and really accepting that things are. And I'm not trying to downplay anything that you're feeling, anything that you're doing, because I know that digging yourself out of a hole and building your own brand new foundation all by yourself is super duper hard. I know that. But sometimes it's easy to be looking at what we want, what we need, instead of where we've been and what we've done. Look back. Where were you at 3 months ago? Where were you at 6 months ago? Where were you at a year ago? And see how you have been building. It's taking time. Yes, things do take time. They take a lot longer than we would like, especially when it comes to material things at times. But you guys are doing really great, and you've been doing really great for yourselves. You've been working really hard. And that shows not only now, but it will continue to show in the future. And that's the important part, because there's a quote that I heard once, and it's $1 million in the hands of a fool is worthless. And like we all know about, we've all heard about, celebrities or people who've won the lottery or people who were athletes and they had millions of dollars. A few years later, they were broke. And this is what you're working on. Not losing your money and being broke, but finding a way to take what you have and build on that and add to it, so that you're not going to be in whatever situation you are in or were in again. Even if you have to start over, even if you are starting over, you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. You're starting from what you already know, and that's going to help you exponentially. You guys are doing good. I feel like you've been really frustrated with this, or you feel like it's going really slow. And it might be. But you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything bad. You're just experiencing it like you're meant to experience it, because sometimes we have to wait for things to get real old and get real tired of it so that we realize that we don't want to go back to that, because that's bull. Chill out. And gratitude. It's coming. It really is. And this is meant to be telling you what you're doing right, even if it's not seemed like that. But really, genuinely, just remember where you've been and where you're going and how you've gotten there, because there are a lot of people who are not happy where they're at, but they're not doing anything to do anything about it. They're not going to continue to move forward. They're not going to continue to learn. They're just going to look for shortcuts. And that's not what you're doing. And that's why it is taking so long and why it's so difficult. But you should really be proud of yourselves for how far you've already come. And it's only going to go up. Even if you do have setbacks, that's normal, that's natural, that's not anything you've done wrong. That's just part of life. But that's what I have for you, pile number 2. That's where you're already doing well, is in your material and in changing your mindset about your material as you grow. Keep going, keep growing. I don't know how long this is going to take you. I don't want to put a time limit on it anyway. But you are doing the right thing. All right, pile number 3, aqua or quartz. What are you doing well? Where are you already excelling? Anyway, what are you excelling at? Where are you doing good already, even if you don't feel like it? We have the Queen of Swords, Strength reversed, the 5 of Swords reversed, and the Ace of Swords upright. I feel you guys have been really working on trying to recognize your strengths even when you don't feel strong, and trying to recognize the difference between anxiety and reality, and working on having epiphanies on how those really do differ, and how things, even if they are going to seem to be so intense and difficult in your mind, a lot of times those things don't actually happen like that. And that's in no way am I trying to insinuate that that's not a very valid feeling, because it absolutely is. Everyone experiences anxiety from time to time. Some people have it all the time. As someone who has struggled with mental health for my actual entire life, I know. And it is a very, very real feeling, and it is very valid. And learning how to recognize when that is just a feeling is damn near impossible at times. And it is really, really difficult, especially when you're in situations that are already kind of setting you off. So I'm extremely proud of you, and you are doing great work here. You are doing so well. And I feel like you're doing this for yourself, because you want to make life easier, not in the sense that you don't recognize that this might be something that you will always struggle with to some extent, but just to really be able to experience life in a more fulfilling way. I'm not a therapist. I'm not in the field of mental health at all. So I don't want to really try to get into any sort of diagnoses or anything like that. But this is just what I'm really seeing and what I'm feeling so far. And the feelings that I have are feelings that I have gone through whenever I was really just super sick of being stressed and fight or flight all the time. And learning how to come out of that, and learning how to handle that when it does happen, because it still does, absolutely. And learning to move through that. Like that's what I'm feeling is where you're at. This is the Rebel deck. We have some good stuff is about to happen. Don't let your issues mess it up. Stop obsessing. I feel like that's what you're working on, is not self-sabotaging and is not giving in to all of the narratives that you might be hearing and might be feeling, and really letting go of all of that, or doing the best that you can to let go of at least part of that load, because that might be a load that you always have. You might always have that urge, and that's valid, absolutely. But learning to recognize it and learning how to properly handle it in the best way that you can and the best way that you are able is what you're doing. And that's what you're going through. And that's a lot to go through, much less whatever else you have going on in life already. But I also feel like you're finding a way to find humor, not in, I don't know how to word it. Like, I really don't know. Like, I'm the kind of person that is constantly making jokes about everything, because if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry, and I don't want to cry because then my nose is gonna get stuffy. It's gonna be ridiculous. I don't want to deal with it. That's just how I deal with things, is humor. And that's an okay coping mechanism to some extent, you know, everything in moderation. But I feel like that's something that you're working on, is being able to take things in a lighter manner. I'm trying to say all of this as delicately as I can, not because you guys are delicate or whatever, but because I know that this is a really, really hard thing. And I don't want you to feel as though I'm taking that lightly, because it's not a light situation. This is the Moon Witch Oracle. Spells and rituals bring magic and self-care together. I feel like you're transmuting all of this energy that you have. Magic wand, focus your energy on one thing, is a form of self-care, and self-care is not bubble baths and sunshine all the time. It's not. And I feel like you're finding a way to really bring what you're going through and how to care best for yourself while you do that together. Maybe you do identify with witchcraft and practice it. Maybe you don't. I don't know that it's meant to be taken that literally, just depending on who you are. But I feel like you're finding a way to really gather your thoughts and take care of one thing at a time. And you guys have been doing so much work in like so many different areas. And that's something that's really difficult to do, especially whenever you're having to multitask, not only working on your own mental and physical health, but like living your life. This is the Wisdom of the Oracle. Unfinished Symphony. So you're not done with this yet. The cycle's not quite over yet. I think you know that. Milk and honey. So part of this lesson is learning to mother yourself and to really care for yourself in a way that maybe doesn't necessarily always feel the best, but is crucial. And this might not, I know this is exhausting, and we have go the distance, and we have 10, which to me is ending a cycle, but it's unfinished yet. And then we have go the distance, and the 4 and the 7 makes 11. And 11 is the Justice card in tarot. So I feel like at least part of your journey, at least one chapter of all of this is coming to an end for you soon. And it's something you've been working really diligently at. And something you've had to been just really charitable towards yourself with. Because this is not something you can muscle through. This is not something you can rush through. And you guys have been doing a lot of really, really hard work. And I feel like a really big part of that is coming to an end soon for you. And that's good news too, because you are doing well at this. You've been doing great, even if you felt like absolute trash when you do it, because it's hard. Awakenings are hard. Changing your mindset is hard. Going through life is hard. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Or I could just spill the entire deck on the floor. Old. Deceit. Kids. Trust. Satisfaction. Breathe. Loss. Now. Pride. Again, I'm really just saying this is about you ending old patterns, old ways of self-sabotage, self-soothing. Really finding a way to come to terms with who you had to be, who you were in the past, and realizing that that was necessary, even if it's not something you're proud of, even if it's not somewhere you want to be any longer or someone you want to be any longer. This is really just about you reconciling with the fact that you had to be what you had to be. You had to do what you had to do. You're learning from it. You're being better. And letting go of old parts of ourselves or past versions of ourselves, or dealing with things that have happened to us when we were young, is really, really difficult in its own right. And it's necessary, it's important, but having to face that part of yourself and really look them in the eye and say, it's okay if you're scared because I'm not, is so empowering and so emotionally taxing at the same time. And this is something you've been doing. You've been shedding and shedding and shedding. And I feel like you're going to be able to get to a place where you can really trust yourself. Even if you do doubt yourself, because that's natural, that's normal. Everyone doubts themselves at times. But being able to really trust yourself and trust yourself to make the right decisions, even if they don't feel like the right decisions, because it takes time for our bodies and our nervous systems to really catch up to things that are no longer stressing us out, or being able to remain calm in situations that we've never been able to do so before. But I feel like you've already come a long, long way. This chapter has really been about you facing yourself, past versions, reconciling with what has happened to you, whether it was your fault or not, and moving forward with that and leaving that in the past. And you guys have been doing so well with that. You have done amazing, even if no one knows it, even if no one will ever know it, or even if everyone knows it. None of that even matters, because you deserve a parade, whether it's just you or whether it's the entire world. You really, really do. And you've been doing wonderful. And you've already done things that most people will go their entire lives being so afraid to even start. And you've already done so much. So you should be very proud of yourself.